Welcome to your first bassoon lesson. My name is Remy and I will be guiding you through the basics of how to play the bassoon. The first instrument to be called a bassoon was developed hundreds of years ago in the 1600s. The bassoon is thought of mostly as a classical instrument, used by composers like Mozart and Beethoven, but today you might hear it in any kind of music. The bassoon is your ticket to exploring a vast and exciting world of music. Before we do any type of exploring, we need to make sure our equipment is in good working order. We'll cover the basics of how to assemble your bassoon in the next video. There are several parts that make up the bassoon. The most important, in my opinion, is the reed, which looks like this. You put your reed onto the tip of this metal piece called the bocal. The bocal goes into this first piece of wood called the wing joint. The wing joint then carries the sound into this bottom part of the instrument called the boot joint. Our sound curls up from the bottom of the boot joint into this called the long joint or tenor joint. And lastly, the bell is attached to the top of the instrument, which is where the lowest notes come out of. To hold the bassoon, you're going to want to start with your seat strap on your chair that you sit on. The end of the seat strap attaches to the bottom of the boot joint with either a hook or a cup. Yours might be different than mine, but this will help you hold the bassoon because it's pretty heavy. So you put the seat strap on your chair and sit on it. Once you've attached it to the bottom of the bassoon, move the seat strap so that the height matches where your head is, so the reed goes straight into your mouth. Your right hand can be placed so that your right three fingers, 1, 2, and 3, sit on top of these three keys. The left hand should be the same, with your fingers covering these three keys, and this can be your resting position. When playing, remember to sit up straight without leaning on the back of your chair too much. The instrument should go diagonally across your body with the reed going straight into your mouth like this. To make a sound, we're going to start by creating our embouchure, which comes from the word bouche, which means mouth in French. To find our embouchure, we're going to start by putting the reed into the center of our lower lip, rolling it in so the reed goes into our mouth, and putting our upper lip above it, like this. Then you're going to want to imagine someone is squeezing your corners in so we create a nice seal around the reed. You want the reed to come into your mouth slightly at an angle up in. Imagine a straight line formed by your upper and lower lip. The reed should be coming in perpendicular to that line. Since our lower jaw doesn't stick out like this and create a vertical line, but rather like this, we want the reed to come slightly up into it, like this. To blow air into the instrument, imagine it coming from your lungs, up your throat, over your tongue, and directly into the reed. We don't want to puff our cheeks out like this. Try to keep your cheek muscles strong, which will direct the air into the reed with a nice, strong sound. Now we're ready for our very first note, F. I love F because it's super easy to play. All we do is cover the whisper key with our thumb and blow straight in. Let's try making a sound just by forming our embouchure and progressively blowing harder into the instrument until a sound forms. I'll start. Try starting an F a few times on your own. See if each time you try it, you can get the note to sound a little bit sooner by having stronger and more supported air. Let's talk about air. The quality of your breath will be the quality of your sound. If you want to create a beautiful and confident sound, you need to take a beautiful and confident breath. Our air is like our fuel tank, and we need to make sure we fill up our lungs so that we have enough fuel to carry us through each musical phrase. Take 3 big, deep breaths with me, each one bigger than the last. No need to make a gasping noise or tighten up when inhaling. Stay relaxed and loose. Here we go. Let's take a deep breath. Notice how I didn't make any noise? Again. Notice how I'm not pinning my shoulders to my ears? One more. That's a great and confident breath. Every breath we take, we should remind ourselves about how lucky we are to be able to play this instrument. Sometimes, if your sound isn't quite what you are hoping for, you might find you are blowing too much air or too little air. If you blow too much air, your sound will be like a flag in a hurricane, completely torn to shreds. If you blow too little, your sound will be like a flag on a windless day, hardly flying at all. You have to experiment to find the perfect speed of air to get the flag of your sound to fly upright and proudly. Now you're ready to move on to the First Notes series, where you will learn new notes, songs, and rhythms. Take your time as you move through this next series. It may take you a week or 2 or 3 before you feel comfortable with each new step. Now that we've created a sound, we have to learn the right way to start each note. You will always start a note with an articulation, which is created with your tongue. The first step is to say the syllable to. Say it with me 3 times. To, to, to. Notice where the tip of your tongue touches your gums just above the teeth. Now let's exaggerate the beginning T like this. To, to, to. Try it with me. To, to, to. Now let's take away your voice and just use air like this. Now with me. Let's put that into the instrument and articulate the sound you just practiced. Listen to me play 3 articulated notes, then pause the video and try yourself. On the reed, we're going to try to use the center of our tongue just back from the tip of our tongue. So instead of to, it's to, with the tip of our tongue slightly lower in the mouth. We can practice some of the things we just learned by using the reed and the vocal alone without the instrument, not worrying about pesky things like fingerings. I like to use this to practice creating a sound without the tongue like we did before. This is also a great opportunity to work on support, which is using our core muscles and our abs to lift the sound up and have a good bass. Try starting a sound on just the reed and vocal and see if you can lift up the pitch by strengthening your core. It should feel like you're doing a sit-up or a plank. Watch me do it and then you try. You'll notice as the sound goes up, my core is tightening. You can also practice articulation with just the reed and the vocal. Try tonguing and see if you can match the pitch of all 3 notes in a row.